We continue now at the top of Daf Ayin Dalet Amud Aleph from Meseches Bava Basra. This is Bava Basra Daf 74a. On the previous Amud, Rav Bar Chana said that they were once traveling in the wilderness with a certain Arab nomad, and he said he would show them where the Mesei Midbar, those who died in the wilderness after Yetzias Mitzrayim, where they are, and he showed them that they were lying, and their faces looked like they were intoxicated, V'ganu apirkid, and they were lying on their backs, and the Rashbam says, V'ganu apirkid shayu shochvin bepanim tzehuvos kishesu yayin. The point over here is that they were lying down, and their faces were glowing like those who just drank wine, even though they had obviously died long ago. One of them had his knee, it was upright, and this Arab nomad was able to go underneath his knee, while he was riding on a camel, while his spear was upright, and he didn't even touch him. The idea is that's how large these individuals were. And the Gemara continues, Paski chada karna de techelta dechad minayu. I cut off, this is Rabba Basra Daf talking, I cut off the corner of the tchelis of one of them, velo havim mistagilan, I wasn't able to move from that place. And the Rashbam explains, Shakli karna knafa talis, I took the corner of the talis, lahavio lefnei chachamim, I wanted to bring it in front of the chachamim, lilmod mimenu din tzitzis, to learn the halachas of tzitzis, ike beis Shammai, ike beis Hillel kidel kamon, whether we follow beis Shammai or beis Hillel, as we'll explain later on. Velo havim mistagilan behemos shani urochvin, lo hayu cholon leilech, the animals that we were riding on, they weren't able to move. And so Amar Li, so he said to me, this particular Arab nomad said, Dilma shakalt midi minayu, maybe you took something from them, Ahadre, you need to return it, Degmiri, because there's a tradition, demand the shakel midi minayu, if somebody takes something from them, lo mistagile, is not able to move on from that place. So Azli ahadarte, I went and I returned it, v'hadr mistagilon, and then we were able to move on from that place. And the Gemara continues, Ki asoy lekame de Rabbanon, when I came before the Rabbanon, says Rabba Bar Chana, Amru li, they said to me, Kol Abba Chamra, everyone named Abba is a Chamra, is a donkey, V'chol Bar Chana Sichsa, and every Bar Chana is a Sichsa, which is a Shota, again, that's a foolish person. And the idea is the Rabbanon were saying to Rabba Bar Chana that he acted in a foolish manner, because Lamai Hilchasa Varatachi, for what reason did you do this? Why did you take the corner of that talis? Lameida, because you wanted to know, Ike Beis Shammai, Ike Beis Hillel, whether the halacha follows Beis Shammai or Beis Hillel. What you should have done was just counted the amount of threads and count the amount of joints. And the Rashbam explains, Kol Abba Chamra, every Abba is a donkey. Rabba Bar Chana, Hainu Rabbi Abba Bar Chana. Rabba Bar Chana, his actual name was Rabbi Abba Bar Chana. It was just condensed to be Rabba Bar Chana. Ukemo Kain Ravina, similarly we find by Ravina, Kemo Rav Avina, his real name was Rav Avina, but it became Ravina. Chamra is a donkey, Kolomar Shota Kachamor, meaning as stupid as a donkey. And Sichsa Shota, Sichsa also refers to a Shota, refers to a foolish person. Lamai Hilchasa Pasakle, what's the reason why you cut off the corner of that talis? Mishum de Bois Lamichsi, because you wanted to see. Is the halacha like Beis Shammai? Because there's a machlokas in Meseches Menachos. The Ton Rabbanon, because the rabbis taught, Kama Chutin, who knows, and how many threads are there in the tzitzis? Beis Shammai Omer Arba. Beis Shammai say there's a total of 4. Beis Hillel Omer Shlosha. Beis Hillel say there's a total of 3. V'kamatei Meshuleshes, and then the Gemara over there continues. Iboilach lemimnei chutin v'chulius. You should have just counted how many threads there were and how many joints there were. Mekami de tahadre, before you returned it, v'teise v'teimulon, then you could tell us what the halach is. Chulios is shlosha chutin gadol. That refers to 3 threads that are braided. Kare chulia, that's called a chulia b'Meseches Menachos. It's referred to that fashion in Meseches Menachos. And the Gemara continues, Amar Li, Rabba Bar Chana says that the Arab said to me, Ta'achvi lach Har Sinai, come and I'll show you Har Sinai. Azli, I went, Chazoi de Hadrale Akrava, I saw that Har Sinai was surrounded by these scorpions. V'kaimo ki chamri chivarti, and they were standing as high as white donkeys. Shamati Baskol Shomeris, and I heard a Baskol that was saying, Oili, woe is to me. This is HaKadosh Baruch Hu saying, woe is to me, Shenishbati, that I made such an oath that my children, so to speak, the Bnei Yisrael, Klal Yisrael, are in Golus. V'achshav Shenishbati, and now that I made that oath, me Meferli, who's the one that's going to annul the oath for me? And the Gemara continues, Ki asoi l'kami de Rabbanon, when I came before the Rabbanon, says Rabba Bar Chana, Amru li, they said to me, Kol Abba Chamra, every Abba is a donkey, like before. Kol Bar Chana Sichsa, every Bar Chana is a fool. Hayalach Lomer, you should have said, Mufar Lach, you should have said that I'm going to annul the oath for you. And then Klal Yisrael could get out of exile. But the Gemara continues, V'hu Savar, but he thought, Dilma Shavuasa de Mabelhu, maybe it's like the oath that was made by HaKadosh Baruch Hu about the Mabel, that there would never be a Mabel, meaning maybe this oath was like a positive thing, and it shouldn't be annulled. For Rabbanon, but the Rabbanan said back, Im Kain, if so, oili lama, what's HaKadosh Baruch Hu saying, woe is to me? By saying oili, it implies that it is a negative oath, and it is one that should be annulled. And the Rashbam explains, Shenishbati, that I took an oath, says HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Minat Golos, talking about the exile. Kedechsiv Kroi Tuva b'Nevim, like there are many psukim about that in the Nevi'im. V'hu Rabba Bar Chana Savar, but Rabba Bar Chana thought, Dilma Shavuasa de Mabel. Maybe the oath that being referred to was the oath by the Mabel. Dechsiv Hashenishbati me Avor me Noach. There was an oath over there as well. Osa Shvu Hayarot Zelahafer. Maybe that's the one that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to annul. V'yachrev Esa'olam, and then the whole world would be destroyed by Mabel with a flood. Well, Lefikach Lo Ratz Zelahafer. That's the reason why he didn't want to annul it. V'Rabbanan Dekar Le'Sichsa, but the Rabbanan who called him a fool, Amri, they said, Im Kain, if so, Lo Havalei Lememar Oili. HaKadosh Baruch Hu shouldn't have said, woe is to me. Ela Mishum Devechol Tzarasam Lo Tzar. Rather, it must be that when the Klal Yisrael's in pain, so it's a pain to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and therefore we know that's what HaKadosh Baruch Hu was referring to. And the Gemara continues, Amar Li, Rabba Bar Chana says, the Arab said to me, Ta'ach v'loch beluei de Korach, come and I'll show you those who were swallowed by Korach. Chazoi trey busy, I saw that there were two rifts in the ground, V'havik hamafki kutra, and there was smoke coming out. Shakal gevava di amra, the Arab took a piece of wool, V'amshina b'mai, and he soaked it in water. Udoat sisa b'rosha derumcha, and then he put it at the tip of a spear, V'ailei l'hasam, and he stuck it into that crack in the ground. V'chiapik, and when he took it out, Hav'ichrech echruche, we saw that the wool was singed. Amar Li said to me, Otzis mai shamat, you should listen, what do you hear? V'shamis, and I heard the Hava Amrin, that the people in the ground, they were saying, Moshe v'Torah so emes, Moshe and his Torah are true, v'hein badoyin, and they are the liars. Amar Li said to me, Kol Tulas and Yomi, every 30 days, Mahadulu Gehenim Lahacha, Gehenim brings them back right over here. Kebasar b'kalachas, it's like somebody who's stirring meat in a pot, so they come back to this location. V'amri hachi, and they say exactly this, Moshe v'Torah so emes, Moshe and his Torah are true, v'hein badoyin, and they are liars. And the Gemara continues, Amar Li, Rabba Bar Chana says, the Arab said to me, Ta'ach v'loch, come and I'll show you, Heichot denashki ara urakia hadadi, where the earth and the heavens, where they kiss one another, where they meet. And so he took him to that place, and Rabba Bar Chana says, Shekalta l'siltoy, I took my basket, esnachta b'chvasa derakia, and I placed it in the window of the heavens. Adamatzlina, when I finished praying, when I finished davening, Be'isei v'lo ashkechita, I looked for it, but I couldn't find it. Amin alei, so I said to him, Ika ganvehach, are there thieves over here? Amar Li, so he said to me, the Arab said to me, Hai galgala derakia, this is the sphere of the heavens, the hadar, that it turns, Natar ad lamachar hachum ashkachas lo, wait until tomorrow over here at this place, and then you'll be able to find it. And the Gemara continues, Rabbi Yochanan Mishtoi, Rabbi Yochanan related the following, Zimna chada have a kozlinan besfinta, one time we were going in a ship, v'chazinan ha'ukvar, and we saw a certain fish, Diapke l'reishe miyam, it took its head out of the sea, V'damyon ayne kisrei sihar, and its eyes looked like two moons. V'nafutz maya mitarte zimne, and water was coming out of its two gills, kitrei mavre de Surah, like the two rivers of Surah. And the Gemara continues, Rav Safra Mishtoi, Rav Safra related, Zimna chada, one time, have a kozlina besfinta, we were going in a ship, v'chazinan ha'ukvara, da'avke l'reisha miyam, and we saw a certain fish that was sticking its head out of the water, v'havalei karni, and it had horns, v'chaka galein, was carved on the horns the following inscription, Ana birya kala shabiyam, I am the lowly creature of the sea, v'havina tlos mea parsi, and I am 300 parsa, v'azilna lepuma de Levyasan, and I am going to the mouth of the Levyasan. Amar Ravashi says, Ahu iza diyamahu, that was what's called the goat of the sea, the bechisha, that it searches through the seas, v'isla karni, and it has horns. And the Gemara continues, Rabbi Yochanan Mishtoi, Rabbi Yochanan related the following story, Zimna chada, one time, have a kozlinan besfinta, we were going in a ship, v'chazinan ahi kartalis, and we saw a certain chest, a certain crate, the havaka mikveh ba avonim tovos margalios, that there were precious stones and pearls that were set in this chest. V'hadri la mine dechvari de mikri karsha, and surrounding it were certain kind of fish that are called sharks. And Nachis, and a certain diver went down, and we will continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Ayin Dalid Amud Beis.